Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I believe we are live here now on the Ticket Punchers. It's Roman Kelly, Curtis Phillips, and J.R. Anderson right here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. We're on location right now. Not all of us, but obviously the 12 to 6 shows were out here at Hoopsters in Jeffersonville. So I'm still out here. We've all joined up here on the remote setting. Fellas, what's going on? Are you guys excited to punch some tickets here today?
Yeah, love the slate. So I'm ready to dive into it for sure.
JR, I'm not sure if we're getting your mic here tuned in or not. Maybe you're getting set up, but I do want to let all the listeners know we want your thoughts. We want your comments. We want your text in on the Game Day Men's Health text line at 502-414-1450. We also want our listeners to get in on the stream as well. Are we live on YouTube? I'm not sure. It seems you're currently streaming. To record, put it into your stream. Okay, sounds like we're streaming, so that's all good to go. Matt, just let me know if we need to make any changes. But fellas, we had a pretty good night last night here on the Ticket Punchers. We were all able to get some hits last night on the books. We had a pretty good night in the NBA. I also hit the two college football games last night. We gave out the -2.5 alternate spreads on both of those games. So excited to see both of those hit. Cleveland costed us as they were not able to win. And then, of course, the Mavericks we had on that other bet, they were 4.5-point favorites that we took. They won by 2, I believe, so they don't cover for us on that. 2 out of 4 on my official punches that we had uploaded yesterday. JR, Curtis, let's go into what you guys had last night on official punches. We'll start with you, Curtis.
Yeah, I had two official punches last night. The first one that I had was Donovan Mitchell over his 34 and a half points and assists. Don't know how he, fell short of this. He had 15 points in the first half and didn't score again. So I'm not sure if it was an injury lingering because I know he was questionable. But yeah, he didn't end up scoring the second half. That was a bummer. But we did cast the Zach LaVine revenge game over his 22 and a half points. He ended up for 30 again. Should have took 25 and 30 plus, but yeah, we casted 22 and a half. So we go 1-1 on our big punches last night.
Yep. I technically go 2-0 on my official punches as we had the Houston Rockets money line that we gave out. And then we also took the Jalen Johnson over 16.5 points. Philly, I don't know what got into Donovan Mitchell or what happened. If he
Yeah.
came out in the third quarter, he was playing in the third quarter. He was assisting still. I feel like he got some shot attempts up and he
Yeah.
just did not get another bucket. Didn't he make 5? I feel like all of his threes or all of his
Yeah.
points, all 15 of his points came
In
in
the
the
first
first
half.
quarter from the 3-point line, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they were all in the first quarter.
Yeah, it might have been
Maybe
first quarter. Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong on that, but I did know he had a handful that he hit in the first quarter there. Don't know what got into him there, but I'm sure he
hmm
bounces back in their next game. That'll be one that we look into for sure if he gets back healthy fully. JR, we got you in here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, there we go. What about you
Yeah.
last night? I know you gave out a handful of plays. Think you had a couple of hits as well. What was your night of official punches looking like?
Yeah, we went 5-1. Trey Jones cost us on the points and assists. We were looking at 18 and a half. He finished with 16 and kind of a mucky game. So a lot of opportunities. He had the, chances to get it done, but he didn't. That parlay, if you parlayed all the legs I gave out, was plus 2,000. Yeah, 5-1. Dennis Schroeder covered rebounds and assists. Zach LaVine covered PRA 28 and a half. Ngankwu points and rebounds 20 and a half covered. Jokic 9.5 assists, and Jeremy Grant over 13 and a half points. So everything covered except old Trey. So punch some tickets last night.
Punching toes tickets. Hopefully you guys were able to straight bet some as well and make some money. Let's get right into it though, fellas, as we've got a very good night of sports. We've got NBA, NFL, and college football on tonight, on top of course, some NHL action if you're into that. We'll see if Philly's gotten into his dig yet in the NHL season. No Dodgers, Blue Jays, as they'll take the night off tonight. They'll play tomorrow. in Toronto as well. Yamamoto will be back on the mound for that. So let's look into the night of sports, fellas. Let's start with the NFL game, just because we've got a tweet in from the Lazard guy, our favorite listener, one of our favorite listeners here on the Ticket Puncher show. He's already sending in his picks for a same game play on this game. And I know you guys are probably going to have some things that you like. So how are you all overall feeling about this game? Seems like Lamar is going to be out there. Obviously going up against a team in the Dolphins who playing pretty low level of football right now. Doesn't seem like they've got everybody bought into that locker room and playing really hard. It's feeling tonight in this Thursday night football matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins at 8:16 p.m.
You can start off, JR, since I know Ravens is your squad.
I appreciate it. Sugar is not there. Overall, I got a couple parlays that I built here. Some simplistic stuff. I think definitely Ravens do win, but I don't even think taking the money line is even an option in this game. I haven't looked at the line in the last couple hours. Last time I looked at it, it was like minus 700 after
they're minus 460 right now.
Okay, so it's moved a little bit. I know for the first quarter, plus 121, I'm taking Devon Achane 1+ rushing yard on the first drive, and then Derrick Henry 5+ rushing yards on the first drive for some quick, easy money there. That's a nice parlay. For the overall game, like I said, definitely Ravens money line. But parlay-wise, I like Zay Flowers to cover 60 yards. That's alted. Jalen Waddle, 50 yards. Andrews, 30. Isaiah Likely, 2 receptions. Achane, 70+ receiving and rushing. And then Henry, 60 rushing. And that is pretty much all the main pieces. I had Malik Washington for 25 alt receiving yards on another ticket. And this parlay together is plus 2,400 if you use the 30%. So
I love that. What's your favorite play on there?
I always go with people who I trust. So definitely Zay. I think, I don't think the DBs, after them giving up Ramsey, I don't think they have anybody who's going to hold Zay. I gave out the Mark Andrews play at over 24.5 for minus 112 or something earlier in the week on Tuesday, I believe. So him for 30, I think is a lock. The likely 2 receptions. I would say definitely Mark Andrews is probably my overall favorite just for the odds. All the other ones are pretty much in the 200s if you try to take them individually.
All right. I love that. I'll be on that first quarter with you. Achane, first quarter rushing yard.
First
Derrick
drive.
Henry, first drive. Okay, yeah, first drive.
Yeah, first drive.
So obviously that's going to be in the first quarter, but first drive, Achane, 1+ rushing yard. I think he gets multiple yards on that first drive for them. And then obviously Derrick Henry, 5+ rushing yards in their first drive. I don't think he goes under that on their first drive for any of the rushes that he gets. Obviously he'll get stuffed once, maybe twice, but he'll definitely cover the 5+ rushing in their first drive as well. He may cover that the first play of the game that they get the ball. So I'm definitely with you on those for sure. I'm with you on the Zay as well. What was the Mark Andrews prop? I missed that one.
30 receiving.
30 receiving. That's probably that's got to be under his line.
They've
got him at 28.5 actually. So you're taking the plus money.
Yep.
I love it. Not mad at that at all. What do you like in Philly here in Thursday Night Football? First, just how you think the game's going to look, and then kind of based on how you think the game's going to look, where you're going to look for your betting.
Yes, it should be a very entertaining game. We have a total at 51.5, so should be some points scored according to the books. I'm not touching the side just because, Lamar's first game back. I want to see how this team comes out, and they're on the road. So, dogs have been barking on Thursday Night Football. So kind of watching, on the side aspects. As far as props go, there is one that I really love. And Jalen Waddle, his receiving yards is at 63.5. And I like the over on that. A few weeks ago, we took T. Higgins over and we laddered it up. And I'm doing the same thing with Waddle here. I think Ravens, pass defense can be exploited. Dolphins should be in a trailing game script at some point. So it's going to, allow them to pass the ball. And then, since Tyreek Hill went down, Waddle's had some, phenomenal games. He's went for 110, 95 and 99 in 3 of the 4 games without Tyreek Hill. No Darren Waller. So I like his over 63.5, and I also laddered him up for 70 plus, 80 and 90 plus receiving yards for some plus money. And I also took a little builder. It's around minus 102. It's Devon Achane for 60 plus rushing receiving, Derrick Henry 60 plus rushing, and Jalen Waddle for 40 plus receiving. If you just want to kind of double your money, love that.
I'm fellas, you guys are preaching here to me. I'm not mad at any of these. I didn't have anything that I overly loved in this game. I was looking at the what was it? Tua Tagovailoa rushing yards, just because I'm always naturally like when those running backs who really don't ever scramble or run the ball, you can get crazy odds on very minimal yards. I always just like to sprinkle when I see it. Tua Tagovailoa 5+ rushing yards at plus 136. I like to just sprinkle on those kind of things, but I don't have anything in this game that I overly love, fellas. I don't actually like this game at all. Lamar first game back. I think it'll take him about a quarter to get into the rhythm and fluidity of the game. I think Derrick Henry's going to run all over the place, so naturally this makes me want to stay away with betting. So I don't have an official punch in this game. I'm going to be tailing you guys here.
Hey, that's fine. If you don't love anything, yep, don't force anything.
Yeah, not going to force anything for sure here. Any long shot touchdown props though that we maybe want to give a shout to, JR?
Long shot touchdown. I like Mark Andrews in this spot. I feel like he always plays good against Miami. It'll definitely, I feel like, be either him or Likely. I feel like they're gonna dial up some tight end specialty stuff today. That's the one blaring weakness that Miami does have. So that would be mine to take one of the tight ends.
All right, there you guys have it. I'm sure JR will have a parlay kind of built up from those picks that he gave out, along with a couple of Curtis's here by the end of the show. Fellas, I want to move on to our official punches in the night of sports just outside of the NFL. We've obviously got a couple really exciting matchups tonight. Obviously, Bucks, Warriors. That's a pretty close line matchup with the Bucks being home dogs right now. Magic Hornets, not expecting that to be a crazy exciting game, but the Magic only 2.5-point favorites. So I'm assuming there's maybe an injury that I haven't seen yet on that game that I don't know about, because Magic should be favored by a little bit more than 2.5 from what I've seen out of those two teams this season. But the Hornets have been able to score a lot of points, so that's kind of where that comes from. Wizards Thunder, not really looking too exciting into that game. However, the Thunder played last night, didn't they? No, they didn't. That was 2 nights ago. I don't think
so. Yeah.
That was 2 nights ago. So nobody coming off of a back-to-back tonight. I don't think. No, actually, somebody has to be. Wizards, Thunder.
Neither one of them.
Nobody's coming off a back-to-back tonight. That kind of makes me naturally be inclined to the Bucks there a little bit. Just at home, they're going to be having their crowd around them. I guess Giannis is probably game time decision tonight. Let me go look. Yes, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a game time decision for October 30th. So we'll see if he plays tonight. I don't imagine he won't though in this matchup. He likes playing against the big names in the league, so I expect that to be a pretty exciting game here tonight. But anything you guys like official punch player prop wise or team prop wise, JR? Looks like we lost JR, maybe getting his connection right there. Philly, what about you? You like anything in the NBA tonight? Your team's playing Spurs, Heat in San Antonio. San Antonio 6.5. Were 6.5-point favorites earlier, back down to 5.5, which I gave out in the run-in with Roman show, 5.5 as a Big X big bet. Obviously, still an official bet, but for the 2:00 show. What do you like in the NBA tonight, Philly? Obviously, we've got your Heat and Spurs, and then that Bucks Warriors game is another good game. Any player props or team props?
Yeah, I was waiting on news for Norman Powell. Not sure if it was out yet. But if he was out, I was going to tackle Jaime Jaquez probably in his PRA. He's been
He's out. Norman Powell's out.
Okay, he's already ruled out. Okay, so then I'll look to his probably PRA. I'll have to do some digging, but he's been one of our main ball handlers off the bench. He's scoring. He's really doing everything for us. So I was looking at that, but I like in the Bucks Warriors game, as you was just alluding to, I like Miles Turner. His rebound pop is at 5.5. It's a little juicy at around -150, but on FanDuel, I just used my 50% boost to get that at even money at +100. But he's had 6+ in 3 to 4 games this year. And we know, Warriors are very undersized. So really easy for, to rebound against them, although they are a good defensive team. And Turner's had 6+ rebounds versus the Warriors in 9 of his last 10 games. So, and as just watching the Bucks game the other day, like he was crashing those defensive rebounds as he's really hasn't really been accustomed to as a center throughout his career. But I love the matchup here. So Miles Turner for 6+ rebounds will be an official punch.
I love it. I'll be with that. I'll be with you on that. It's funny you say that. I was looking at the Draymond Green. I hit on his 6 rebounds the other night. He got to 8, I believe. I think I like him for 6+ tonight just because he spends so much time out on the floor, being down low, and he actually he'll be guarding perimeter players, but he does retreat to the basket on the defensive side to try to get defensive rebounds. Like a lot of players like Rui last night I had for 6+. Wasn't an official punch or anything, but Rui, when his perimeter player that he's guarding gets a shot attempt up, or on another perimeter player gets a shot attempt up, Rui, I guess maybe it's because of what's being asked when certain players are on the floor, doesn't attack the glass, right? Told to go back, get down. Draymond isn't told to go and get down. He is a primary ball handler at times in this offense, so he does try to go after the rebounds. I like him for 6+. I like Miles Turner, though, for 8+ going up against the Warriors because the Warriors just don't have that size out there. It's been way too many minutes, I believe, in my opinion, with Draymond and Jimmy being your tallest kind of guys out there. Quentin Post and stuff like that, right? So I think Miles Turner should be able to get a lot of rebounds. Just the tough thing with him is, are you getting into the paint after the shot gets up, right?
Yeah.
Or are you standing around trying to beat your man down court so you can get a streaking score? But I like that. I'm going to tell that with you. Miles Turner 6+ rebounds. I'm also going to make an official punch, and for me on the opposing side, Draymond Green 6+ rebounds. So if you guys want anything on those 2 props right there, feel free. JR, we got you in here. What do you like tonight in the NBA?
Yeah, let me.
I think I got my mic fixed here.
Good deal. I was having some connectivity issues there. I was in traffic. I had to pull over for the show on the road to work. On tonight, I really like Jimmy Butler over 24.5 points and assists. He always plays really, really, really well against Milwaukee for whatever reason. I also like Milwaukee to cover +8, which is -107. And I really love Miami +10.5 against the San Antonio Spurs -105.
Yeah, if Khalil and Bam both are playing, you've got bodies for Wemby at that point now. Not a lot of teams like Miami who has 2 different bodies who can at least compete with a Wemby, right? They can try. They've got something they can throw at them, 2 different types, both with Khalil Ware and Adebayo. I think that they should be able to not necessarily hold Wemby to a quiet night, but to an inefficient night, right? That's what you want to do with players like that. They're going to get theirs. Just can you make it difficult in that process of them getting theirs? Have the personnel to make that happen. I like it. I mean, the Spurs were Big X big bet for me earlier in the day for my 2 to 2:30 show. The run-in with Roman was Spurs -5.5. I do think that they're going to get the win tonight. I do think that the Heat are going to be able to keep it close. I don't see a blowout here by any means. So you said +10.5 on the Heat Spurs. I can get down with that, fellas. Do we think the Bucks are going to beat the Dubs at home tonight in Milwaukee?
They go as Giannis goes. That's
it'll
they
be good.
They don't have a soul either that can stop that man.
I mean, he's a game time decision. I haven't seen anything that seems like he's really not going to play, though. Granted, I've been on the radio the last 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think it'll be a real good game. I haven't really got to check the Warriors out this season, but I know they're like 4-1. I think they're going to be right back to where they was, a few years ago when they went to won the finals actually. So yeah, it should be an entertaining game.
All right, let's get into some final official punches here as we get towards the last final segment of this show, and we do a little bit of line looking for the week ahead, fellas. Jr., you gave out your official punches in the game. We've already given out one in the Warriors Bucks. Is there anything else that you guys want to get out before I get out my last one here? We'll start with you, Jr.
I like Wemby 12 plus rebounds against Miami. I mean, it's Wemby. He's balling right now. So that's
That's only
minus
minus
one.
160.
Yep, it was minus 156 when I took it. I forgot to include it into my earlier slate. And then I like SAR for the Wizards 8 plus rebounds minus 111.
Okay. I like that. I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to figure out why they've got the Hornets. I mean, I get Orlando's 1-4, but it's a 1-4 against teams that have all shown to be pretty good this season. And they lost two away games on the road. I don't think the Magic are bad. I feel like the
No, Magic are
1-4.
good.
I feel like this 2.5
They'll be
lines
fine.
kind of are they is it because they're coming off of the back-to-back last night? They're the one team that did play last night, obviously. Losing to the Pistons last night on the road, going to Charlotte now. 239.5. They don't think there's going to be much defense in this game. Hornets are 1-0 at home. I don't see any significant injuries, obviously, other than Brandon Miller for the Hornets. I mean, they're out Grant Williams and Josh Green, who are role players for them, important role players. Brandon Miller is a go-to scorer for them. Mo Wagner's out, but Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs. Oh, Jalen Suggs is also out. Franz Wagner is a game-time decision. So maybe they're saying because Suggs is out, they think this line's going to be a little bit shorter. Fellas, I think Orlando's going to bounce back and get a win here, coming off of two really intense, high-scoring losses.
Yeah, I think that's where the money's going for the Charlotte game is just that they've been high scoring and that they've been very competitive with the new blood that they've infused into the team. I mean their overall team chemistry is really good right now. Everybody's playing really well, so I can see why the money's going that direction.
All right. And then as we get out of here, like I said, we gave out. I like the Spurs minus 5.5 that was an official bet earlier in the day. I did take the Draymond Green 6+ rebounds. Fellas, there's not anything in too particular in terms of official punches I'm looking too far into. There is some NCAA football on tonight. Marshall 6.5-point favorites going up against Coastal Carolina. Tulane visiting UTSA. Tulane are 5.5-point favorites. I think Tulane covers this, and I think Marshall covers the 6.5, if I'm being honest. Sorry to Dave, teacher from Jeff, avid listener on the show, who says he's taking both underdogs on the plus 7.5 tonight. He thinks both of them cover. I don't know. I don't bet against Tulane, and after last season, I don't bet against Marshall. I just think that Coastal Carolina's had a bit of a drop. Very good at all, fellas, but I don't expect anything in particular on those games. I'm just letting the listeners know, not official punches, just two things that I'm going to be betting, because if they're going to give me a boost on these books, I'll find something I like. Obviously not that I love, not enough to tell you guys to go bet it, but letting you guys know what I'm in on as well. Fellas, anything else before we get out of here? We got about another 2 minutes before we leave here.
Yeah, I do have a NHL bet. I guess my first NHL official punch.
Been waiting for this.
Yeah. So we have Pittsburgh Penguins traveling to Minnesota Wild. And I'm taking the Wild's team total under 3.5. First off, this is just a high team total in general in hockey, asking for 4 goals. The Wild have scored 3 or less goals in 7 of their last 8 games. They're only averaging 2.8 goals on the season, which is 25th in the NHL. And then on the flip side, Penguins defense only allowing 2.7 goals, which is 7th in all of NHL. So I just think asking for 4 goals a lot in this spot, it's just asking a lot. So
You're definitely right.
I like the Wild team total under. It's a little juicy at minus 122 on FanDuel. So yeah, that'll be my third official punch of the night.
I've seen it at minus 115 right now here on my odds. So maybe one of us is about to see a shift here any second now. I like it. Fellas, we got about a minute here before we get out of here. Anything else that we need to look into? Just some early lines maybe we're watching on the NFL slate before we get out of here? We'll obviously get into this tomorrow as well, but
Yeah, I don't normally take TDs, but I kind of like this one. Devon A-Chain, he has scored in 8 straight games at home. So that is 100% success rates minus 150. So if you guys need an extra parlay piece, I like that. And then another leg that I will be adding is LJ Lamar Jackson over 15.5 rushing yards. It's minus 115. Even with the hammy, I think that's a layup.
I think it is too.
That's
I feel like that's why they
that's
haven't
gonna
played, because
be
they're trying to make sure that leg's right.
yeah. That one's gonna be my hammer bet for the night that I'm gonna load up on. Yeah,
I love it.
that's all
I
I
love
got.
it. Fellas, I don't think there's anything else here that I really think that we need to get into. Nothing else that I'm thinking that we're missing out on. I don't like anything in the Thunder Wizards game, unfortunately. So we're gonna pass out on that one. But we're gonna be back tomorrow with some more official punches. Let's go get these tickets in, and like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy. Let's go punch some tickets, fellas. Let's wrap this up. We'll be back tomorrow.
Punch
Let's
those
go punch the
tickets.
tickets.
All right, let's go punch those tickets. Stream still saying it's on for you guys?
Yes.
All right, and to our YouTube and X listeners, thank you all so much for listening and tuning in. Give us a retweet if